There we are. Got the recording started. I'm just going to give it a couple more minutes, get a few more customers on the call. Just give it another minute or so. Okay, I think we can get started just for the sake of time here. So, hi everyone. Thanks for joining us today. My name is Riley Prentice. I'm the Partner Development Associate for CDW Canada. And I just wanted to kick things off by welcoming everyone and thanking you for your time to join us for our webinar detailing how you can safeguard your organization's valuable data with Lenovo, Veeam, and of course, CDW. We have a jam-packed agenda for you today. Our experts will start by highlighting the strong relationship that Lenovo has forged with Veeam, before, of course, leading you through an overview of each solution portfolio. We will cap the session off with how these solutions will tie into CDW services, of course, service offerings, before opening up the floor to any questions you might have surrounding the content provided during today's sessions. Pop your questions in the chat as the content is delivered, and then we will prioritize at the end, and then, of course, opening it up to any additional questions that you might have. So with that, I'm going to pass it over to Edgar Rodriguez from Lenovo to get us started.
Hi, team. Can you hear me?
Good to go, Edgar. Yep.
Perfect. Thank you. So thank you. This is Edgar Rodriguez. So I'm the alliance manager between Lenovo and Veeam. Well, I have been sitting here for the past year and a half, more or less. And the first thing that I would like to mention is how important is this relationship for Lenovo. If we can go for the next slide, please. So I'm going to give you some very important numbers. You know, who are you talking to? And this is important for us. So we started this alliance by 2018, more or less, and now Veeam has turned our number one backup alliance in Lenovo. So the most important alliance in terms of backup and part of cybersecurity that we have, it's basically Veeam. Okay, so that's important. In 2022, we were awarded as Veeam Partner of the Year in specifically North America, so covering you. That's also important. By now, and this is something you may consider, so we have 6 platforms certified under the Veeam Ready program. That it's a way that Veeam, test some of the environments that we have for some specific applications such as object storage, such as repository storage, and so on. So just to give you an idea what we have there. So we have our Think Agile VX appliance, which is basically the appliance that we have with a VCF stuff, so the VMware Cloud Foundation. So we have our system called HX650V3. In addition to that, we have some of our best platforms, storage platforms that you guys are going to listen later today, which is the DG, DM, and DE. You're going to listen to some features later. And finally, we have something that I'm going to give you some information in more slides, which is the TrueScale backup with Veeam. Okay, so this is very important for us because that gives us the flexibility of putting the best of our solutions with the best of Veeam solutions. Finally, in our we have these certifications to reach most of our portfolios cover. So if you see here in the 6 platforms that we have already certified, so we have the Lenovo data center, mostly data center, but we also have some products in our ThinkPad portfolio. So what that means is that you're able to put some Veeam license in our ThinkPads, and you're able to back up not just your C drive, but also your Office 365. So that's important. And obviously, we can deliver this in our TrueScale backup with Veeam type of solution. So if you see when you put together these two leaders, so you're going to get the benefits in terms of flexibility, in terms of simplicity, because talking about a Veeam solution is very simple to use, very simple to implement. So we have been awarded as best-in-class server for the past 9 years. So that is important with on-planet outage. So we're the best on that. We have been doing a great job in the storage world, being number one in entity and storage, and also putting this together with Veeam. That Veeam has been in the Magic Quadrant of Gartner for the past 7 years. So those are some of the numbers that we have. But let's get into matters of what we are doing together. So can we go to the next slide, please? So just to give you an idea in terms of the solutions that we put together, we're trying to solve as many challenges in terms of your workload that you would like. So first, let's go to the classic DM, DG. If you're not related to that, don't worry. Later during this presentation, you're going to learn that. So let's suppose that you're trying to put your SAN environment, your unified environment, and replicate it. It doesn't matter if it is virtual machine. It doesn't matter if this is a virtual server. You're going to be able to back up and replicate this with zero errors and putting a lot of analytics in behind that. So that's the first solution we cover. So talking about the storage, let's suppose that you don't have, this big location. This is in terms of not the core business, but maybe a remote location. So don't worry, we can cover you putting this into a server. What kind of server? So this is going to be our Think System server. So this is going to help you to back up and recover physical servers that can be stored, wherever you want in an edge solution or whatever, and you can put the backup on the local repository, or maybe you can have a DR situation where you can put this in a remote location. Okay, so the next solution is going to be our TrueScale backup with Veeam. I'm not spending a lot of time because later we have a couple of charts related to this. So this is the way that we deliver the backup infrastructure as a service. So later I'm going to explain that. The next point that you have seen, so the VX part, I already explained that, which is playing with VMware, but we can also put together solutions if your environment's not running in VMware now. So if this is running on Nutanix, or if this is running on Microsoft, we also have an appliance called Think Agile HX, VX, or MX that you can put all your virtual machine on an HCI environment, and we can back up and restore all the virtual machines running, or the full HCI environment there. As I spoke, so we can cover the ThinkPad piece. So if you're running Office 365, or if you just want to back up the entire computer, we can do that together. And finally, when you're talking about not a local solution, but you would like to move this into any public cloud or some other space that you have contracted somewhere else, so we can do that as secondary or tertiary backup. So if you see, we're trying to cover most of the solutions in terms of data protection together. So feel free to put any questions. So let's go back to the presentation. Let's go.
All right. Thank you very much there, Edgar. Welcome, everyone. And thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule and joining us this afternoon. We're going to be doing something a little different, and it's going to take some imagination, but I think we're going to have a little bit of fun along the way. Today, I'm going to be sharing the quest that ITville went through to move, from a less modern approach for data protection to modern data resilience. Let's jump into it. Next slide there, Riley. All right. We're going to be covering 3 topics. I'm going to introduce you to the city of ITville. This is a shared Veeam and Lenovo customer that were facing various challenges. Next, we're going to talk about the Veeam innovations in data protection as well as data resiliency. And last, this is how we're going to talk about how these innovations help solve the city of ITville's challenges. And again, just to reiterate, this is a shared customer between Veeam, Lenovo, and CDW that I wanted to share a real life story. Okay. Now, before we get into it, a very, very quick disclaimer, because who doesn't love a good disclaimer, right? And so in the cyber landscape of ITville, the stories are very real. The victories are actual, and the challenges faced are truly, truly daunting. But in the interest of preserving anonymity and honoring the sacred code of the IT realm, the names have been changed or have been obscured, pardon me, to protect the brilliant and incredibly modest. These are their true stories. Next slide there, Riley. Oh, sorry, next slide. ITville faces challenges as a business built around an aging technology and outdated systems. Its primary struggle is to modernize and enhance the efficiency and security of its data. The business grapples with frequent system breakdowns, data breaches, and inefficiencies that hinder daily operation and, quite honestly, a quality of life. ITville's mission is to now seek assistance and resources that overhaul its infrastructure and implement new technologies to become more resilient and capable of meeting the needs of the citizens as well as the businesses. It's no secret that ITville urgently needs transformation to shift from its current state of disarray to a model of digital efficiency. This is where Veeam, CDW, and Lenovo come in to assist. Next slide there, Riley, please. Let's meet the key players. First, it's Sammy the Sentinel. He is a security analyst, and as Sammy monitors he monitors, and alerts for any potential security breaches in ITville. His system is outdated and it is slow to react, and because of that, he often misses signs of more sophisticated cyber threats. And with the aging infrastructure, Sammy needs help keeping up with the data volume, which is leading to a delayed response in and potential security gaps. Next, we have Rita the Restorer. She is a backup and a storage administrator. Her current challenges is that she's responsible for ensuring that all city data is backed up and can be quickly restored in the case of a disaster. But again, the aging backup solution that she manages is not only slow, but it's unreliable. This often results in incomplete and corrupt backups and really making data recovery a gamble rather than a guarantee. With a stretched thin IT crew, Rita finds performing regular backups and checks and maintenance increasingly a challenge and difficult, risking really significant data loss and operational downtime when recovery is needed the most. Last but certainly not least is Penny the Planner. Penny's role is she works in compliance, and Penny she's really crucial in planning and documenting disaster recovery strategies and procedures. And unfortunately, her tools are outdated. They're cumbersome and they don't integrate well with other IT systems in ITville. This makes updating recovery plans a lengthy and error-prone process. So overall, Rita, Sammy, and Penny, they each face significant challenges due to the outdated and under-supported staff in ITville. All right, next slide. All right. Now, to start, it's important to recognize that data is the lifeblood of businesses, and it presents increasingly complex challenges for organizations to manage. So, not only that, but there is an ongoing threat of ransomware. It's a costly problem. And especially when you consider that 85% of organizations have been hit by ransomware, and potentially even more because they may not be aware of it yet. And 27% of those organizations who paid the ransom still could not recover their data. The world runs on data. Every business runs on data. And if that data is unavailable, every business stops. You need to protect your data in every cloud, every endpoint, virtual machine, app, and even container. And this is what Veeam calls data resilience. All right. Next slide there. Excellent. So what does it mean for a company to pursue data resilience? Veeam looks at it across 5 pillars. The first is data backup. Backups are often the first target of ransomware attacks, regardless of where that data resides, whether it's on premises, whether it's in the cloud, or it's in a SaaS application. Next is data recovery. Traditional recovery, go back there, Ron. There we go. Traditional recovery strategies leave businesses vulnerable with 43% of data still unrecoverable after an attack. Then Veeam is passionate about data freedom, the ability to freely move your data whenever, wherever, and however you want. Data resilience wouldn't be possible without data security, ensuring your data is secure, immutable, and recoverable. And finally, data intelligence. Veeam is committed to making our products better and helping derive insights from your backup data. Next slide there, Riley, please. All right. Data backup is the foundation of data resilience. Veeam leverages native APIs at the platform level, enabling your team to retire any number of point solutions or tools in favor of a platform that combines backups, snapshots, replication, and continuous data protection, optimizing your total cost of ownership, or TCO. And that commitment to TCO extends to the scalability enhancements that we add each year. And you can manage complex, distributed, and multi-cloud environments with centralized management tools, enabling automated policy settings that leave no workload unprotected. And plus, Veeam empowers IT teams to move testing off of the nice to have list by automating recoverability testing at scale, instilling confidence that Veeam just works. Next slide, Riley, please. And speaking of testing, it's good to remember that disruption to your business is inevitable. And the time to find out how successfully you can recover isn't while you're in the middle of a disaster. I heard a great line earlier today, and I can't stop thinking about it. I want to share it. When is the best time to fix your roof? Well, quite frankly, it's when it's sunny out, not necessarily when it's raining. So, the same analogy applies there. And Veeam's comprehensive recovery capabilities aim to reduce downtime, recover with precision, and provide documentation and even sequence the disaster recovery process, offering you a level of confidence most IT teams, including the city of ITville, do not have today. Perhaps the worst kind of disaster is when you have to recover from a successful cyber breach or a cyber attack or ransomware. Veeam's Secure Restore enables you to scan backups with your antivirus solution and or with your rules to ensure it's verified and clean before you put that back into production. Next slide there, Ronnie, please. All right. When recovering from a cyber attack, you may have to opt for plan B or plan C or even plan D to get businesses back and running. Now, at Veeam, we are passionate about keeping your data portable. So in the event of a disaster, Veeam enables you to relocate or even re-platform your data so that you can recover wherever and however you need to. And that portability promise extends to other use cases. So if you're executing a hardware refresh, you're going from one Lenovo storage array to another, right? Or you're replatforming a VM, or even building a container practice, Veeam can support the migration and ongoing data protection. So whether you're really looking to use and optimize existing storage, leverage Veeam's turnkey backup as a service like Veeam Data Cloud, or point backups to the cloud of your choice, Veeam has you covered. Next slide there, Riley, please. Now, another cornerstone of the Veeam story is our relentless commitment to security innovation. We believe that organizations shouldn't relegate data protection to the back half of an incident response plan. Instead, Veeam offers 360-degree approach for pre, during, and post-incident analysis. So for example, Veeam now offers a broad range of options to detect suspicious activity by performing low-impact scans on your backups, adding yet another set of signals for your organization to detect incidents faster. You think Sammy would like that? And another way we think proactively is our dedication to supporting immutability everywhere. Keeping backups in immutable storage ensures that data is authentic, it is accurate, and it is free from tampering. Next slide, please. Now, I've mentioned Veeam's AI-powered threat detection just a moment ago, but what I didn't mention is how easy it is to use. The engine sends signals to the Veeam Threat Center dashboard, highlighting potential threats and measuring risk via an automated security scoring function. As cyber attacks become increasingly sophisticated, you should be looking to exploit the power of AI to stay one step ahead. And part of this means using Veeam to its fullest extent. So for example, when 450,000 organizations, and that's how many customers Veeam does have, so 450,000 organizations use your solution, you can learn a lot from those experiences. And to give you an example, back in 2019, Veeam launched Intelligent Diagnostics. This is a solution that leverages a database of signals from Veeam tech support that can recommend remediation actions based upon common misconfigurations. And these kind of diagnostics can help you fix issues before they have any operational impact. We recently launched the Veeam AI Digital Assistant, unlocking in-product guidance using generative AI. This engine will only become more powerful as we recently announced, and you may not have heard of this, but Veeam recently announced a partnership with Microsoft to co-develop and integrate with Microsoft Copilot. Next slide. All right. So let's now pivot back to the City of Itville team and get an update of how things are going after implementing Veeam, Lenovo through CDW, or Veeam and Lenovo through CDW, and really that Veeam data resilience that I talked about. Now, Sammy the Sentinel, with Veeam's cutting edge technology, Sammy has been reborn as a digital defense architect. His once overwhelmed system is now a fortress of innovation featuring real-time threat detection and automated responses. Rita the Restorer, empowered by Veeam, Rita has now transcended her role and become a resiliency analyst. The legacy systems that are a thing of the past. Now her backups are swift, seamless, and and secure. All right, with features like data immutability and advanced verification processes, Rita ensures that IT data is not only backed up, but also perfectly preserved, ready for a flawless restore whenever needed. Last but certainly not least, Penny the Planner. All right, thanks to Veeam, Penny has evolved from a struggling planner to a masterful resiliency officer. Her tools are now as proactive as her strategies, with automated testing and documentation that streamline the disaster recovery process. Compliance is now a checkbox effortlessly checked, right? And Penny's disaster recovery plans are not just plans, but they're assured promises that of ITville's resilience. All right, next slide, please, Riley. Now, the city's digital framework, once fragmented and faltering, is now a synchronized symphony of advanced systems working together. Now, Veeam's state-of-the-art technology has fortified ITville's infrastructure, rendering it not only robust and agile, but ready to scale and evolve with the city's growth. A new dawn. The partnership between Veeam, Lenovo, and CDW has not only solved ITville's immediate challenges, but it has also propelled the city into a future where technology enables possibilities, safeguards aspirations, and drives prosperity. ITville is now a living testament to what a city can achieve when resilience is woven into the digital fabric. Next slide, Riley. Thank you very much, everyone. Again, if there's any comments or questions, please feel free to ask, and I'll hand it back over to the team for the next part of the presentation.
Thanks so much, Chris. Now I'm going to hand it over to Ryan.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks. Thanks everybody for being here. Thanks for having me. My name is Ryan Shear. I'm one of the channel storage managers. I cover all of North America. My goal today is just to kind of give you a quick highlight of some of the appliances and our data management portfolio that pairs extremely well with Veeam. So if you want to kick it to the next slide, we can kind of dive into that. So from a high level, I simplified this as much as possible to talk about our data management and what we offer. There's really no space or area we don't play, whether it be from your main production environment to your backup environment paired with Veeam. The top things that we're going to talk about today would be our DM and DG series, as well as our DE series. So our DM and DG series is going to be all of our NAS unified SAN storage. It can do multiple workloads, several different things on one box. DE is going to be your SAN only. It has one job to go extremely fast. It doesn't have as many of the features, but paired with a Linux server and Veeam, you can make a DE box and a mutable backup repository, which is something we very commonly do. Obviously, we have all of our hyper-converged solutions with HX, VX, and MX. Tape is still there. There are some people that still swear by tape and use it pretty often. I've seen in the recent years a lot of people stepping away from it, really for the main reason of affordability of a SAN and a DE series is not that far off from tape at this point in time, and the protections you get with it by running on disk versus having tapes all over the place. We've had people that we've talked to who have tape backups go to use their tape, and the tape is either corrupted or the ribbon breaks or something happens. There's no RAID set up. There's nothing protecting you from if and when that situation were to happen. Obviously, disk expansions are just JBODs that you can attach on to servers to just grow your storage pool. Networking, all of our fiber channel switches, and then obviously our preferred backup management is going to be paired with Veeam. If you want to kick to the next slide. So these are the two boxes I want to talk about most and kind of go through why. So again, DE I'll highlight quickly. It's an extremely fast, high-performing box that's very, very affordable. It does a very good job. It runs SAN-only workloads. It does extremely well with Veeam and creating, again, you can put a Linux server in front, create a backup repository that's immutable. There's a lot of good things you can do with it. As you know, Chris kind of mentioned, now that people are realizing the threat with ransomware and the need for properly functioning backups, one of the biggest things that come into play now is not just the backup itself, but the speed. How fast, you know, it's great that you have the backup. It's even greater if you test your backup and ensure it's working and all of your data is there. But how fast do you want to be able to pull it back? How fast do you want to be able to click the button, roll back, get your company back online from whatever happened or a ransomware attack or whatever the case may be. So speed has become more and more of a leading topic in the backup conversation that we have. So that's why I want to talk really about the DM and DG series. So these boxes are going to run on the ONTAP operating system. With that, it's going to be built in and included with Lenovo. So all of these boxes now with the complete bundle come with anti-ransomware software built into it. So it will alert you, it will lock out users, it will give you a high level of security, and that doesn't cost anything extra. It's just built in. As well as the DG series is really the highlight that I wanted to bring up today. So the DG series is an NVMe array that runs on TLC NVMe drives. So why does that matter? It's because the price of it is about half of what you would pay for a QLC running device today, and you're going to get the performance of NVMe, especially if you want to use it for production or a backup. The main difference is going to be the millisecond of latency for most businesses and places that millisecond is not impactful enough to justify the cost. So really what you can do is set up your Veeam environment to be backing up to a DG series box, for example. All of the DG series boxes are going to be fully immutable. It's going to have the anti-ransomware. It's not going to allow file changes. It really is just streamlined and simple and designed to keep all of your data secure. And again, when you talk about speed, you're rolling back from NVMEs, right? From NVMe drives versus a tape drive or possible spinning hard drives that you have today. So it's something to definitely keep in mind and know that we offer and a solution can be built around. If you want to go to the next slide too. So this is the final one. This is just to kind of highlight some of the things Chris had already mentioned, some of the key solutions that we play together with Veeam with and things that we can do. Obviously, backup and recovery is the biggest one. Building out, you know, a secure platform that can do either all of your storage on site, or you can tier it off to the cloud afterwards. It allows just a simple, easy, fully immutable setup, so you don't have to worry. Office 365 is another one that's growing. A lot of people don't understand or see the need or get why they should be backing up their 365 data. It's extremely, number one, it's extremely inexpensive to do it. It doesn't cost much to back up 365 from a per user basis, and it also gives you the protection of being able to roll back things like accidental deletions, things of that nature. And it also, you know, OneDrive is not a backup. OneDrive is a place where your files live. So, you know, with Microsoft, they're not responsible for your data if something were to happen on their end and that data was lost. So for how, you know, inexpensive it is to be able to back it up, have all of your data from your individual users accessible, it's definitely something that you should consider. And then obviously we work with Kubernetes as well. I'm not going to dive too much into that today. And that was it. So I appreciate you guys having me. If anybody has any questions too, please don't hesitate to ask.
Thanks so much, Ryan. That was great. Edgar, back over to you.
Perfect. So let's suppose that let's start with a very basic and the last point of the journey. So let's suppose that you don't have enough resources to implement what we have talked about. So let's talk about this solution. So let's go to the next slide. So at first, as the Veeam team was mentioning, so the effective backup is the last lane of defense that you're having. In some cases, and now what we are seeing in front of our customers is they don't have, the most reliable backups. In some cases, and I have seen, trust me, a lot of customers with different recovery times to what they have in the paper. So there are RTO, there are POs, there
Oh, Edgar, sorry to cut you off. You're just cutting out there. Can you try going off camera, please?
already have a very good
Edgar, not sure if you can hear us, but you're cutting out on our end. Can you try going off camera to see if that helps?
but in no cases have any light moments. In most cases, they with oh sure, I have something case. It better?
Okay, yeah, you're better now. If you want to just take it back a minute.
Thank you. So again, so as I was telling, so by now what we're seeing with most of the customers is that they are having not the most reliable backups. Their RTOs are not, the most accurate in terms of recovery. They are taking quite more time to recover. And there's a high cost of maintaining all of the backup and secondary storage stuff, obviously with the potential of having compliance issues, the loss of productivity, and obviously the cost of the branding. Can we go to the next slide, please? So what can we do to help you on that? So there's a solution that we have put together with Veeam that it's called TrueScale Backup with Veeam. This solution combines the portfolio that we have seen with Ryan in terms of servers and storage, and the Veeam data platform with all of the benefits that we have already listed. This is going to help you to reduce the recovery time because we're going to help you to build this environment. This is going to be a cloud-like experience. What's a cloud-like experience? Let's suppose that you just have the space to put some of the backup IT, I mean storage, I mean the servers that we need, and all the things, and someone comes to your site, or we can help you with a co-location, and we're going to charge you by the usage that you are having. So it's a cloud-like experience. You don't have to worry about the IT stuff, the IT complexity, because Lenovo is going to deliver all the required IT in your site or your co-location. We're going to install it, deploy it, and the only thing that you need to make is to work on the policies. Okay, on the policies, and obviously, the type of information that you are going to put there. This is going to help you to keep the sovereignty of the information. You know where the information is going to be backed up, but you don't have to worry about all this complex CapEx acquisitions because we're going to do this on a by-month charging. Can you go to the next one? So if you see, when we put together all these solutions, you're going to be able to protect all the different type of workloads that we have mentioned. This solution helps you to orchestrate all the backup and recovery process and securing all your critical data. That's very important. So you don't have to worry about even the resources that you need to have this environment ready to go. Can we go to the last one? Between Lenovo and we can cover. How's the cost structure? And I have already mentioned this, but let's get into a deeper explanation. So this is an on-premise deployment that will include both the storage and servers and the Veeam licensing. There's going to be a bill based on points consumed. So let's suppose that you have, I don't know, 200 virtual machines. So there is a number of points, defined points by virtual machine. But let's suppose that in the future you have 300. So don't worry, we can escalate this up to 300. But later you have 250. So what's going to be there? So I'm going to charge you by 250. If you see, it's pretty dynamic. Also, in terms of the storage, you're going to have an initial baseline payment that is going to depend on the capacity that you have on site. And in case you need additional storage, we're going to have a buffer in the location just in case the backup goes higher and higher. So you don't have to worry about this. But let's put this in easy words. This is going to be a flexible pricing, and you're not having any hidden cost. You know how much you're going to pay since day number one. If your workload goes up, you know how much are you paying, and so on. So the cost includes everything from the Lenovo IT to the usage of Veeam, so you don't have to sign another contract or go and look for licenses or something like that. You just start the deployment, and that's all. And you can back up whatever you want, as many copies as you want. And if you also look to move this to another backup to a DR site, so it's going to be also considered. Okay, so can we move to the last one? So what's TrueScale? If you see, you're looking into a small part of TrueScale, which is the TrueScale backup with Veeam. But if you are looking not just to have the backup, but also having some other IT workloads, your HCI environment, your common servers on different locations. So it's a way that we use to provision with the right technology anytime, anywhere. We can scale as you need in a flexible way. And obviously, it's going to be a simplified management of the IT stuff because you're not going to be taking care of the day-to-day operations. So checking that the storage is updated, checking that Veeam is updated, checking that the firmware on the server is updated. So this is running on our responsibility. So as I told you, it's not capital expense, is not a capital investment. So we can just sit down, design the solution together with the Veeam, and we can put this running in your system as soon as the systems get into your location. Okay, and this is it for the last part of the offering. I think that the last part that we need to listen is why CDW. Let's go.
Hi, everyone. My name is Mark Aruda. I work with CDW. I lead the hybrid infrastructure services and strategy portfolio. And I want to talk about how we add value to the platforms you've heard about today, both on the Lenovo side and on the VMware Veeam side. First thing I want to talk about is our managed services. And what this really means for you as a customer is after you've deployed and had your environment up and running, we actually can offer, sorry, can we move to the next slide? We actually offer a full suite of managed services, meaning we can ensure the reliability, the resiliency, and availability of your infrastructure on-premise, in your data center, wherever it may reside. And that includes 24/7, 365 monitoring through our NOC, or Network Operations Center, that we have established here. That gives you visibility and the expertise you need to ensure that, if there's a backup job failure, anything that's at a practical level interfering with the availability of your services, this is something that CDW can offer to any of our customers across the board. Again, once things have been deployed, up and running, and to that, I want to talk about our professional services. If we can move to that. This helps you get up and running on your platform. You may be new to the Veeam and Lenovo world. We have expertise across the board. I'm really touching this on the next slide, but the expertise is very broad and deep across the Lenovo and the Veeam platforms. One of the things that was mentioned earlier that I think is important to touch on as well around this is something that was touched on around Office 365. That's a very overlooked piece of the puzzle. That's where a lot of our professional services come in. We can help you assess your needs and requirements. And there are the hard parts or the physical parts like storage and resiliency and software, but also what do I need to back up? How do I back it up? And when do I back it up? So those are things we can help you work on through a professional services offering, and then ensure that it's deployed properly in a fashion that it's going to be resilient, across the infrastructure. Next slide. And again, in terms of our expertise level, if you're looking at exploring this type of solution, CDW can help you begin that journey and go right through the life cycle from procurement to implementation, again to management. And again, with our 365 National Operations Center, you're covered regardless of what happens, any time of day or night. We're your eyes and ears to ensure that your service is running properly, regardless of the situation, time, or day. And really, this is all I wanted to touch upon. This is how I believe we add value to an already great combination of services and solutions via Lenovo and CDW, and of course, Veeam. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Mark, Chris, Edgar, Ryan. Appreciate the content that you delivered today. I just want to thank you, the customer, as well, for joining us. Please scan this QR code that you see on the screen. It's a follow-up survey that we will be sending out to each of you as well after. But if you want to scan and get ahead of it now, we will be giving away 3 $100 gift cards at random three, like I said, 3 of the customers of that complete the survey. So please fill that out. Again, there will be a follow-up to be sent afterwards. But we have about 12 minutes here. I just wanted to open up the floor to any questions you might have for our experts. I don't see anything in the chat, so please feel free to use the time to ask away.
Just while we're waiting here, Riley, I want to circle back with a couple things that Edgar and Mark and the rest of the team have said around recovery performance. And because realistically, I mean, what Veeam provides is a number of different capabilities in restoration. There is what you would consider a traditional restore, where you're copying your ones and your zeros from your backup repository into production. However, if you're looking to get a faster recovery than that, Veeam has, quite frankly, patented and brought to market something called instant recovery. Now, without getting into the specifics or the technical aspects of an instant recovery, Veeam can instantly recover virtual machines, physical machines into a virtual environment, SQL and Oracle data, and a number of database platforms, as well as unstructured data like SMB or NFS shares. And having that performance within your Veeam repository is really, really key. And it comes down to a conversation that the members of the Veeam team as well as the CDW team would facilitate, in the sense of, okay, what are your recovery point objectives? What are your recovery time objectives? And based upon that, we can build a system and we can architect a system that's customized for your business needs. So really, I wanted to call that out. And Lenovo is a fantastic storage vendor when it comes to performance, when it comes to reliability, and from an architecture. It was mentioned a little bit earlier. Lenovo is on the Veeam Ready program, where it's these are tried, tested, and true solutions that have been validated, for that matter. So I wanted to bring that up and share that with everyone here.
Awesome. Thanks again, Chris. Again, any questions for our expert, please feel free to use the time. It's a safe place. It's a safe space, I can assure you. So ask away. Okay, doesn't appear to be anything in the chat or otherwise. So if that's everything, again, just wanted to thank you for taking the time, taking the hour here to join us. Again, thank you so much to our experts. And again, please fill out that survey, scan the QR link, fill it out. It'll take just a minute of your time for a chance to win a $100 gift card. So with that, thanks again, and